Wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I am your host, Joseph, and it's here on this very podcast where each and every week we talk about the latest and greatest in PlayStation each and every week. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Kyle. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you doing, buddy?
I screwed up the intro because I didn't say the greatest co-host whoever is, whoever was.
It's fine. People know already.
You know what? They should. And our special guest this week, sir, may you introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? It's Steve Fontana of Nintendo Dual Screens Podcast and DualScreens.com, and kind of funny best friend to all. How is everybody? How are you guys doing?
Man,
great. I'm so happy you're here, Steven.
It's been a week. Like it hasn't stopped. It just keeps going. We went to PAX this week.
Yeah. We did.
So we're going to do this episode a little bit in reverse. Usually we talk about the games we've been playing. Because we've been playing so many games at PAX, we decided we're going to save that goodness to later on in the show. Instead, we're going to just start with the news right off the gate. Steven, are you ready?
Oh, I mean, this is episode 86. I don't know if you know that. That is my birth year. That is one of my lucky numbers. Ooh. And everywhere I go, the number 86 follows me somewhere. So
I gotta actually let you know. Something. It's probably not episode 86, and I forgot.
Joe probably forgot to.
It still says it up there, and I'm still.
We'll stick with it.
Good luck for me.
Yeah. Kyle, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, before we talk about the latest and greatest we've been playing at PAX, before we talk about Borderlands 3, before we talk about what happened to Anthem, Kyle, talk to me. What's our first story on the Goobers?
Well, it's a new segment, Joe.
It's called Shoe Giveth and Shoe Taketh Away. What does Shoe give us this week?
This goober comes from Polygon. The title is PlayStation Store now offers refunds on pre-orders and faulty content.
Hooray!
Sony Interactive Entertainment updated its PlayStation Store cancellation and refund policy this week, giving customers the option to receive refunds on pre-orders and on content deemed faulty. According to PlayStation's new cancellation policy, customers can request a refund of any pre-ordered purchases up until release day, provided that you have not started downloading or streaming it. After that release date, customers can still request a refund up to 14 days after payment was taken for the pre-order, provided that you have not started downloading or streaming the content to your device, Sony says. Customers can request refunds on other purchases, including full games, downloadable content, themes, avatars, and season passes within 14 days. If you started to download or stream the purchase content, you are not eligible for a refund unless the content is faulty, Sony says. The support website does not specify what constitutes faulty content. In most cases, it appears that refunds will go back into a customer's PlayStation wallet.
So this is pretty dope news. And to me, it's a little weird that they announced this on April Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the weirdest thing. Now, this is, I think, Jim Ryan's first day on the job. April Fool's to everybody and him. God, this guy has the worst luck. But this is the coolest news so far, right? We're able to finally start returning games. This has been something I've been bitching about for months, Steve, is how we need to be able to return our games. If digital is the future, we need to be a part of that future. We see it with Xbox, we see it with Steam. What did you take this news? I'm gonna go with you, Steve. How do you feel about this news, man?
Well, the fact that if you started downloading it or streaming it, then you're not eligible for the refund, unless of course it's broken. So it's kind of like a backhanded compliment in a way. It's like, okay, we're going to start offering you refunds, but there's a nice little caveat here, in which is it's not if you don't like the game, it's not if the game sucks, it's just if before you decide to play the game, you don't want that game, maybe based on reviews or based on the fact, like if you're one of those pre-purchasing type people that are like, I can't wait for this to download to my console on the night of the release, and then maybe something crazy happens, or you just don't want to support that dev anymore because they delayed the game 6 times, which that to me is the biggest one, because this allows players to vote with their wallet a lot earlier and give an actual forecast for these developers and publishers. Because if they think they can get away with continuously delaying or showing as little of the game as possible or something like that, they have another thing coming if you can ask for your refunds ahead of time. The biggest thing I think, one of the biggest games I think that I felt would have suffered for this is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh, why do you say that, sir?
Because everybody pre-ordered that based on the previous game and the very little cinematics that they showed, and just based off of the hype. And when it came out, it was as much of a masterpiece as it was also incredibly divisive.
Right.
And I, for example, canceled my pre-order at GameStop because it just does not seem like a game for me. While I love cinematic adventures and stuff like that, I like them more where you're actually like playing the game and having fun as opposed to living the life of somebody trying to avoid dysentery.
Yeah.
Like I just
no, it forgot it was supposed to be a game. It's supposed to be fun.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
So what you're getting at is this is a good first step, but you'd like to see something a little bit more like what Xbox has over there, where if you play a game within 2 hours, you have the opportunity to return it. Or
if they do something like, first of all, I think every game should have a demo. That's number one.
Okay.
If every game would just have a demo where you could play the first like half an hour of the game.
So Steve Fontana, you're running for president right now.
I'm running for president of Shuhei Enterprises.
Okay.
I just want them, like, if there was like a half an hour or a 1 hour time demo where you can download the game, play the game, and if you don't like it, fine, whatever, delete the demo. Right. I think that would solve a lot more of the problems than this is going to do, what they're doing now. But it is it's a necessary good first step.
What about you, Kyle? What do you think about it?
I agree. It is a good first step, but there's a lot of very corporate talk in there, right?
Well, you talk about faultiness.
Faultiness, yeah, and just repeating it over and over again. Like, listen, you can only get a refund unless you didn't start downloading it or streaming it. Which, sure, it's great. Like Steven said, it's a great first step. But I also agree with you, Joe. I wish it was more like Microsoft or Steam, where you can play a little bit and see how it is. And like Steven said, if they just do demos, for sure, that'd be great. Yeah. But to go along with the faultiness, I really think they should put out there what constitutes a game being faulty. Is it just the servers aren't working? Is this an Anthem situation? Exactly.
Where like you have
do they just put if your game runs like Anthem, then it's faulty?
Examples: Anthem, Fallout 76. Yeah. No, I feel you. There's just like I like the demo idea, where I think as we're getting into that digital future, and I think we're seeing them a lot with betas, but I would like to see that with every game, Steve. I think you're dead on right. Is that like, yeah, this 2 hour rule is great and everything, but I've heard a lot of indie games, like a lot of indie walking sims, that they're like, yeah, but you could beat our game in 45 minutes. So theoretically, you beat our game and you just refund the money. That's something I like to call a dick move.
Well, then it should scale to what the game is.
But like, how do you set that scale, right? Is it like, oh, your game is, because then you have to like publicly, I mean, maybe it's more disclosure, but like then you have to go, well, this game's only 45 minutes, so you get 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, maybe they can just do like a percentage thing. Like
or maybe
play up to a certain percentage of the game before you can.
Yeah, or maybe you don't do it for those smaller games, and you realize, hey, the game's $10. Like, it's not a $60 investment, or in some cases with Anthem, like $100 investment if you're getting these super souped up bonus whatever editions of the games. Right. I think I think what they need to do is protect the consumer a little bit more, because there are more good and honest people and gamers out there than there are dishonest gamers. And just because you're protecting against the few doesn't mean you should punish the many.
Yeah, I feel you. And I'm also thinking that the little economy that is based in the PSN, where it is the shovelware that is the like I Am Mayo type of games, where they're literally just like you turn the game on and you get a platinum, right? Those type of games would take a huge hit.
Listen, my thumb got a workout, Joe, playing on my nose.
Kyle, I've learned so much about you the past few days. I just wish I hadn't, But I do think this shows that the future, we were talking about this last week with Emmett, where we were talking about how, the reason why they were getting rid of digital codes at GameStop and at retails. And I think this kind of just outlines the reason as to why. It's because it is way easier just to refund you credit than to try to refund a code, right? I just think, like, again, whatever algorithm, whatever engineer problems that they run into with trying to figure out codes and all that, it's way easier just to say, here's a refund, a digital point, whatever the hell it is. I think, though I would like it to be better, I actually think, Steve, you're right. I would like to see more demos. I would like to see more, I guess, an overhaul to the marketplace where you get to see the game and have the game showcase a bit better where it is right now. Where you see a trailer or two and a screenshot and that's it. Right? Maybe we have a more robust marketplace, but again, we're going into the PlayStation 5. Let's hope it's there.
You mentioned the whole beta situation with Anthem. Now, in my opinion, the beta is completely pointless outside of just doing stress tests for their servers, because it is abundantly clear that game wasn't ready to come out and they did not care. Like, players voiced their opinions based on that beta and everybody was like, oh no, they'll fix all that by the time it comes out. And you're like, well, the game's coming out in 2 weeks and the things we're complaining about are fundamental game design choices.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that they should iron out before they put this to the public. That's why I'm a proponent. Like, I really like early access stuff. If they called this Anthem early access, I would have gave them $30-$40 for it, because I know that in the long run, they know that they have a lot of stuff to fix. They're not pretending they have a finished product.
Yeah.
Trust
me, we'll get there.
To bring this around to the current conversation, which is the reason why I brought it up, is this is not coincidental that they're putting this in after Anthem was breaking PS4s, even though the rumor is now that it wasn't, but still, if it's happened to people, if it's resetting consoles or whatever the hell it's doing, hard crashing consoles left and right, maybe this kind of forced their hand to say, hey, if the biggest company on one of the biggest video game companies on planet Earth can put out a game that breaks people's systems, maybe we should protect the consumers a little bit more.
I think it is, to me, I think it's a bit incidental, but I think Anthem was the thing that, like, the straw that broke the camel's back of, like, okay, yeah, no, we definitely need to do this now, more than ever. Like, I think this was something that was in the pipeline for a few months. They saw Anthem, they're like, okay, yeah, no, we definitely need to do this. Because I'm with you right there, dude. I pre-ordered the game. I wish I didn't. I wish I got my money back. I wish I could have returned it, because we're going to get into the weeds here. I know there's a few people that enjoy that game, but the game should not have been out the way it shipped. But with that, we'll get to that. This is going to be a very heated talk later. Shoe tooketh away something, Kyle.
Oh. He did. Driveclub shuts down in 2020. This also comes from Polygon. The servers for Driveclub, Driveclub VR, and Driveclub Bikes will all go dark on March 31st, 2020. Before then, August 31st, 2019, the games and all of their DLC will be delisted from the PlayStation Network store. After all this goes down, only the single-player modes will be playable. For a game predicated so much on multiplayer interaction, that ain't much. And of course, all the social components are no more too. Driveclub launched in 2014, but like many online-dependent games, buckled under the load from a large community at launch. For weeks after its launch, the game was still struggling with features and performance promised in E3 hype reels. Weather effects, for example, didn't join the game until more than 2 months after launch. Sony promised the PlayStation Plus edition of the game to subscribers. It took almost a year to deliver it. Driveclub's last update came in March 2016 with the final DLC pack for the game. The same day, Sony announced that developer Evolution Studios would be shut down.
So this sucks. And my only question is I look at this, I'm just like, why? What's the point? I don't understand.
Down the servers?
I was just not just shutting off the servers, but like, dude, getting rid of the whole entire game like it didn't even exist. Kyle, what the hell's going on over there at Shoe Enterprises?
I never understood why they wanted to make a Driveclub exclusive PlayStation game to begin with. Mm-hmm. Just because, like, Sony's got Gran Turismo as an exclusive. And it seemed weird to me off the bat. And I think it's just kind of like it was the messy game, and it started with PlayStation 4 when it launched, and it still has the ties to it.
Yeah, but like even though the game sucked or whatever the case may be, which I hear this game got better over time.
Sure.
It's great. Though the game didn't launch in the best terms, doesn't the game still have the right to exist?
Man, it feels like we're having like an AI conversation right now.
Doesn't have a right to exist, Kyle.
I mean, sure, and it still kind of does. You can still play the single player stuff, but like you won't be able to play with others online, which is.
But like, what if I want to go
Other games
purchase the
already like
game? What if I was like the 5 people out there that really enjoyed Driveclub?
Sure.
And I was just like, dang it, I lost my copy. Let me go download it. I'm screwed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steve, you
know
got
what?
some thoughts. You look like you got some thoughts.
It works the other way around, man. You can't make a business decision for the few when the many, are paying your bills. Like the 5 people they want to play it. That's great. Don't worry. So here at PlayStation, we're gonna have plenty of titles for you to play, such as our upcoming title, Gran Turismo Shibidaboo Online Skibbity Bop Bop Leap Up. And then there you go. The kids are happy again because they have, the next evolution of Gran Turismo, which is probably going to be online anyway. Mm-hmm. So, I think these ebbs and flows in the industry come and go. The biggest thing is them shutting down Evolution. That was kind of. I can understand if a studio is incompetent and makes bad decisions and makes a bad game. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe you want to cut them loose. But I feel like as a publisher, you kind of have a responsibility to give that studio all of the tools to do the best job possible. And as
you don't think Sony did that for Evolution?
I just know that 9 times out of 10, these stories come down where the publisher has unreasonable expectations. So I don't know if that's the case here, but when you're asking a video game studio of 50 to 150 people to make a AAA, massive game like a Gran Turismo or a Forza, and that's just the racing genre.
Trust me, you're talking to the wrong guy that knows racing. I have no idea. Never played Driveclub, didn't care, didn't pick up Gran Turismo. I haven't played a Gran Turismo since like PS2, so it's been a while.
There's a reason why Mario Kart is the king of kart racers. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why all the other ones fall to the wayside to the king of it all. It's because it's really hard to be the best. So if you're going to attempt to make something that is a AAA massive experience, I think you need to put a little bit more. You need to have the capability to say, okay, this isn't ready.
But do you think that this is a troubling sign of like, just again, we're heading into that digital future and they're kind of pulling the rug out from under you? Like, what if this was a game that you really did enjoy? Like, let's just say like it's Uncharted 1 they're yanking out. Like, would that not get you where it hurts, where you live?
I mean, yes, but you could also still play Uncharted without online servers.
All right, but what if they're just like, and you're not even going to allow to buy it because
they said they're delisting Driveclub, so
exactly.
we're assuming they're delisting Uncharted 1. In this case, I think if Uncharted 1 was garbage, it would be a different story. Right. But no, assuming that I'm in love with the game, it would suck. But like I said, it's just you can't make decisions based on the few. You kind of have to look out for the majority here.
I feel at that point, if you already love the game, you already own it.
Okay.
I don't think there's not a huge population of gamers out there that have waited, what was it, 2016, 3 years to hop on the Driveclub train. I think if they were going to get it by now, they would have gotten it.
Yeah, go for it, Steve.
I have the perfect example here.
Go for it, please.
Okay. Back in the day, my college days, my freshman year of college, I think it was 2005, City of Heroes came out.
Yeah, right? I know someone who loves a good old City of Heroes.
MMO RPG. I absolutely loved that game.
Sure.
And the way NCSoft created that game, you cannot even, there is no data for that game.
Yeah.
There's no way that a person can, even with the disc in hand, replicate it offline. Like, they can't even make fake servers because all of the content in that game was live on their server. Everything that they programmed was on that server. It was never downloaded to your computer.
And now it's just gone.
So now with that, they unplugged they unplugged and wiped the servers. That game no longer exists. So there's companies out there that are trying to rebuild it one line of code at a time.
Holy shit.
And because people really love this fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if we could curse.
Oh no, you can say fucking shit, yeah, and you can say my president's racist or something obvious.
And so to that point, yeah, it breaks my heart that a game that I loved so much that did have a pretty good fan base. I mean, the servers were full all the time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a smart financial decision for Play NC and NC Soft or whatever the hell it was to make it anymore. So
if you hear the sirens, that's on my end. The cops are coming for me.
They're coming to get you.
Andy called the cops. He's sick of it. He's real sick of it. So yeah, no, I agree. I think I saw a lot of overreacting around this news. I think it sucks for the people that do enjoy it, but Sony doesn't owe you anything to keep these games up. And again, you have to kind of look at it through their lens, and what they're looking at is probably the people that are complaining about this game being delisted don't even own the game. Like, they're putting the servers down for a reason. Like, I love Gravity Rush and Gravity Rush 2 for what I played of it, but when the servers were closing down of Gravity Rush 2, I was just like, I get it. Like not enough people were playing. I get it. Like, I love on the original Xbox Duke controller in hand, okay? Hop in my car here for a second. I'll take you for a ride. Brute Force. Brute Force was a game, and it was terrible. It was budget Mass Effect. That's what my memory serves right. But I love that game. Guess what? They never made a Brute Force 2, but if they did, let me know in the comment section down below. And guess what? I'm fine. I'm fine with the memories of Brute Force, right? Like, yeah, there's like a lot of like SNES games or N64 games I remember and I love and I cherish. But that's it. It's over now. Like, this PlayStation Classic, great example. But like, I'm playing Cypher Filter. I'm like, yeah, this is fun for 5 minutes, and then I'm done. Like, to me, I understand the preservation aspect, but I don't think we should just be preserving anything for the sake of preservation. Like, I think we should be preserving Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, instead of preserving Brute Force, right? Or Driveclub. Like, one day World of Warcraft servers are going under, but that's not anytime soon. So I'm fine with not playing WoW at the moment, but knowing that one day I can jump back in. I have a good at least 10-year roadmap with that game if I ever wanted to jump back in. But if I don't, I remember the fun times with that game. So I don't think, like, again, the panic is, oh my god, like, I don't think they're going to be delisting The Last of Us anytime soon. I think everybody's got to just settle down. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, that's good. Kyle, this is your news story, man.
Oh, I'm so excited. Welcome to the hype train starring Who Dat Ninja. This next goober comes from Polygon. Borderlands Remaster coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One in April. Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, the remastered release, is coming to PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One on April 3rd. As we are recording, you can download this now. Ooh. The package will include all of Borderlands DLC, the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned, Mad Moxie's Underdome Riot, the Secret Armory of General Knox, and Claptrap's New Robot Revolution. Borderlands Game of the Year Edition will be a visually remastered version of the game with upgraded lighting, character models, and textures. PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X versions of the game.
I'm sorry, I didn't have that part out. I'm sorry.
Support 4K resolution and HDR lighting. Disgusting. The remaster will also support 4-player split screens co-op. Other improvements coming in Borderlands Game of the Year include a tougher final boss battle and new character customizations for Vault Hunters. Give it to me now. It's downloading as we speak.
Okay, well, Kyle, but you told me not to do this because right now you can go and you can download Borderlands 2. You told me it's a better game. Go get Borderlands 2.
Oh, yes. 100% Borderlands 2.
But will I know what's going on in Borderlands 2? Would you play with me, Kyle?
Yes, I already said I will play with you in Borderlands 2.
You say a lot of things, Kyle. You say a lot of things. I just don't believe.
But this is good for people who did not play the first one and hopped onto 2.
Okay.
Just because there are characters that show up in 2 that are the playable characters in 1, and they have a bigger role in 2. Which is great, but Borderlands 1 is a game that I never fully finished. It's something
Well, don't you want to go back in with me, bro?
In Borderlands, I want to go back in with you in Borderlands 2.
Okay. All right.
That's what I want to do.
Steve, where are you on this remastered Game of the Year, whatever the fuck we're calling it, Steve?
I mean, it's great. I don't think I don't want to do it.
Are you a Borderlands guy?
I do. I love Borderlands.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I skipped Borderlands, the first one, and I don't know why. It was just
many people did.
Yeah, it just eluded me. Borderlands 2. I played all the way through with my cousin, either when he was sleeping over, we were couch co-oping, or when he actually, I don't know if I bought him or he bought me or whatever it was. We bought each other at some point a copy of it so we could play together online. And I can't tell you how many times we have fallen asleep on the other end, like just playing till like 5:30 in the morning, and then all of a sudden my cousin's just standing there staring at a wall. I'm like, Rich, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm like, all right, I guess it's nighttime. It's time to shut this thing off. I love Borderlands. I think everything about the game is the design choices in that game were executed perfectly. Absolutely perfectly.
So the writing is top notch, and I feel like a lot of people that I know who have played this a little bit don't give that enough credit. The writing in these games are great.
Okay. So my question for you, Steve, were you in the convention? Like, were you in the room when they announced Borderlands, yeah or nay?
No, we had an appointment. We were thinking about skipping the appointment.
I know someone who did.
Do you?
He's in this fucking room right now, this son of a gun.
Hey.
So, Kyle, you were in this room for this next announcement, for all the announcements, actually.
Yeah.
Would you like to say your piece? Would you like to first read this bit of news and then talk to me about your experience?
The next bit of news is Borderlands 3 is finally confirmed. This particular paragraph comes from GameSpot. Gearbox Software has officially announced Borderlands 3 during its conference at PAX East. The trailer showed vast lands that players will be able to explore, lots of guns raining from the sky, and reintroduces Lilith as a key figure in the Borderlands series. We also saw the newest Vault Hunters, one of which can summon multiple ethereal arms to kick some butt. Borderlands 3 will come out on September 13th, 2019. Yeah, so like Joe said, I was in the room during this press conference. I'm going to air quote that. Oh boy. Because that was a weird conference. That was just a weird thing. Randy Pitchford just did a magic trick for like 20 minutes. And it was awkward. It was weird. They announced some other really cool things like Risk of Rain 2. A lot of people were excited about. Okay. Bulletstorm Duke Nukem edition.
We can stop there. Switch. We don't need to talk about that.
But we all were there because we wanted to see Borderlands 3. And yes, they did. They tried the Borderlands 1 announcement remaster thing, but the technical issues wouldn't let that happen during the press conference. Okay. But once we saw it, like I had goosebumps the entire time. I was yelling and screaming in excitement. There's a gun with legs, which is awesome.
Yo, that trailer was dope.
The trailer's fantastic, and some people said it's a little bit samey. It's like the other ones. That's fine by me because Borderlands is the aesthetic is classic. That is a style of game that ages extremely well.
Again, I wasn't on my A game making the notes this week. I apologize, Steve. Because there was this Polygon article. It was like we weren't impressed of what we saw, and you talked about like it being more the same. Is that like what is your take on that artitle or that hot take?
I think it's garbage.
I've never been impressed by a Polygon article in my life.
Not even with these two I took.
No, it's more of the same, but that's a good thing when it comes to Borderlands because the gameplay is so great, the characters are usually great, and there's some little hints in there that show how much they've added onto it.
Right.
Like they say in this one, vast lands that players will be able to explore, and so they said there was a Ultimate Collector's Edition, like Diamond Loot Box Edition.
Right.
And in there says a galaxy map. So does this tell us that we're going to hop between different worlds and planets? That'd be awesome. They
That's
have
dope.
one of the Tales from the Borderlands characters. It was in this trailer, which is dope. It's Borderlands 3, and it's finally here. I can't wait. It's this year. It's incredible.
September
It's awesome.
13th, 2019.
Yeah.
I gotta tell
Call
you,
it Borderlands 3: Hold My Beer, because they are about to take Anthem, Destiny,
Yes.
Division to school.
yeah, because I like the way that they approach this game too, because they just straight up called it a looter shooter. I think like
Yes.
in the trailer, it's like the original looter shooter. So they're not here to like I fucking hate that name, but like they're not here to reinvent the wheel. They made the wheel already. They're just like, here's more Borderlands. And like it's going to solve the problem that I feel like for the most part all these games as service games audience, look at me. I'm the captain now. We need to find a new name that's better than looter shooter. It's too punny, it's too rhymey, and I fucking hate it. So we can do something. We're a clever bunch. Nonetheless though,
How about the treasure pleasure genre?
Ooh, take me the pleasure town. All right, we'll workshop it.
Okay.
But yeah, like a lot of these problems have a problem with being able to play solo. In this game, that's not going to be an issue ever. There's another issue of loot, and there's literally a bajillion weapons in the game. So I'm pumped. I love the cover of this game.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's like the Catholic Jesus. I am so surprised where like there's not like a group that's upset. Like some type of like Catholics for Borderlands are
they're out there
probably.
Yeah.
I think I
PETA's already
vaguely
out
saw
there.
somebody upset because it was like a Buddhist thing.
Oh,
Like there was something with the Buddhist.
no, I thought that's like a Jesus thing with the heart.
I
Always
thought so
freaked
too.
me out when I was a kid.
Sacred Heart. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's why I never followed Catholicism. I was like, I don't want to see a fucking beating heart in front of me. Are you kidding me? I get it. What's a priest gonna do? Kali Ma and like rip my fucking heart out? I don't want anything to do with this. Anyway, my issue with Catholicism aside, I'm pumped for this game. I'm ready. Kyle, we're playing this together, day one.
Yeah. As soon as you buy Borderlands 2 Handsome Collection, I will play with you.
I need money to
Okay,
do that,
fair.
to make that possible.
Oh, hey,
Yes.
Best Buy. Go to Best Buy's, or not Best Buy, Target. Go to Target's clearance. Like they put a pile of games in the back wall. You
Okay.
can find the Handsome Collection there for like $10.
I was gonna say, if you go to Best Buy, you're gonna find a couple other things. But you know what? This isn't a Nintendo show because we're not fucking dorks. With that, we're pumped for Borderlands.
Whoa! What? We can't offend our guests here. Good job.
Fighting words.
I'll offend the shit out of them. Oh god, Switch sucks. I'm only kidding. It's the best
We're
Vita
just
I've ever
children.
had. Anyway, with that, our next story. I love the Switch. It's one of my favorite consoles. Kyle,
Yeah.
what's on the Flash news? Our only bit of Flash news this week.
Just a small story.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
just a little
small one.
smidgen.
This comes
Couple
from
of bullet points.
This comes from Kotaku. The PS4 exclusive Iron Man VR makes a surprisingly good first impression. Quote, "We're not making a rail shooter. We're not making an amusement park game. We're not making a short demo or an experimental Iron Man experience." End quote. Game developer Ryan Payton told me last week in New York City.
He did. He told Kyle personally.
He did. After I had finished a demo of his studio's forthcoming game, Iron Man VR. Quote, "We're making a full game with a deep sandbox, with a deep story, with plenty of great missions and great cinematics." End quote. Iron Man VR may be a grander thing. If Payton's ambitions pay off, it could be a marquee game for PlayStation's VR's platform. It has been in development for 2.5 years at Camouflage, the Bellevue, Washington studio founded by Payton, who previously worked on Halo and Metal Gear Solid. The game was born, Payton said, in a meeting at a hotel near E3 in 2016 after the announcement of Spider-Man for PS4. The head of Marvel's gaming division was looking for VR games, Payton learned, and so he pitched them Iron Man. In New York this week, I played a slice of what Camouflage is building. The PS4 exclusive is VR only and requires both the headset and 2 PlayStation Move motion controllers.
So these are encouraging words from this little interview, and from the GIFs that I've seen of this gameplay so far. Yo, you're Iron Man in the sky. This is awesome. My only question for you, and this is a yay or nay. That's why this is Flash News, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Is this in the Spider-Man universe? Yay or nay, Kyle?
Yay.
Ooh. Steve, is this in the Spider-Man universe?
Yay.
Yay, too. I want to see it. I just want to see for a second Peter Parker going, hey, what's up? And then, like, swing past. Or, like, you're in a mission with Spider-Man and, like, shit's going crazy and you're in New York City.
It's the start of the MPU, the Marvel PlayStation universe.
Dude, what if Sony just got all of them?
Oh, yeah.
We'll give the Avengers the square. You know, we'll give the dumb looking one to Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? We'll take all the dopeness. I'm only kidding. I'm into Ultimate Alliance 3. Okay.
So Sony's going to end up getting Star Wars next. You'll see.
Oh my God, if they do.
You'll see.
Dude, Steve, don't play with my heart like this. If they did, and I get a fucking Star Wars open world game, I'm just like a rogue Jedi or whatever, I'm so fucking in.
Let's be honest, Joe. You just want Terakasi back.
That too. I want Masters of Terakasi. Give me it right now.
Star Wars Zero Dawn.
Oh my God. Just like you're making your own lightsaber and like you're throwing them, like you're in like Endor and you're just like, fuck, dude.
You're just like you're like Rey. You're just a fan of the Jedi. Like you've never actually met one, but you're a fan of one. So you just go around collecting like shit that are tied to the Jedi and the Resistance, and then you're just making makeshift weapons. Yeah, you're just like making shit, and then all of a sudden you like get wrapped up in a Jedi thing, and you're like, oh, I could move things with the Force.
And then all of a sudden you realize it's Indiana Jones meets
right,
Star Wars.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
All right, here's to the big piece of news this week. I just need to clarify this. I super spark notes this article. Jason Schreier at Kotaku wrote, and I'm not shitting you because I literally copied and pasted all the notes and put it into just a doc to see how many pages. 27-page article over on Kotaku. This is possibly one of the single best just video game journalism at its finest. And it makes us all look like shit. And I love it. But this news kind of sucks. So with that, again, give them a click. This is a Spark Notes version, and it's a page long.
He also has a video that he explains it all to. It's like an 8-minute video if you want to do that.
Okay, or just do, you know what? Pause the podcast for just a second. Promise me you come back. Okay, you're back. Awesome. Thank you. Missed you so much. Kyle?
Yes.
Let's read it.
So I'm going to read them. Joe very nicely put them in bullet points, so I'm going to read them as bullet points.
Yep.
First bullet point. The game that emerged from a 6.5-year development cycle was the result of a number of difficult, complicated factors, ones that won't be quite as easy to fix as Anthem's loot drop rates or loading screens. When the Anthem team started development back in 2012, they hoped to make the Bob Dylan of video games, one that would be referenced and remembered for generations. They might have accomplished that, just not in quite the way they hoped. Second bullet point. Anthem was originally planned to be called Beyond. Beyond! Such a major last-minute upheaval might seem strange to an outside observer, but on Anthem, it was common. Some who worked on the project, it wasn't even clear what kind of game Anthem even was until that E3 demo in June of 2017, less than 2 years before it actually came out. Anthem was not supposed to be a single-player game. EA didn't force Bioware to take on a Destiny-like game. Mm-hmm. Dozens of developers, many of them decade-long veterans, have left Bioware over the past 2 years. Some who have worked at Bioware's longest-running office in Edmonton talk about depression and anxiety. Quote, I actually cannot count the amount of stress casualties we had on Mass Effect, Andromeda, or Anthem, end quote, said a third former Bioware developer in an email. A stress casualty at Bioware means someone had such a mental breakdown from the stress, they're just gone for 1 to 3 months. Some come back, some don't. Within the studio, there's a term called Bioware Magic. It's a belief that no matter how rough a game's production might be, things will always come together in the final months. It happened on the Mass Effect trilogy, on Dragon Age Origins, and on Inquisition. Quote, some of the people in Edmonton were so burnt out, said one former Bioware developer. They were like, we needed Dragon Age Inquisition to fail in order for people to realize that this isn't the right way to make games. Multiplayer major story revisions, poor management, shifting management roles. The Frostbite engine sucks. In order to cut costs, all EA games have to use this engine, and it was not optimized for the games BioWare wanted to create. If it takes you a week to make a little bug fix, it discourages people from fixing bugs, said one person who worked on Anthem. If you can hack around it, you hack around it, as opposed to fixing it properly, said a second. I would say the biggest problem I had with Frostbite was how many steps you needed to do something basic. With another engine, I could do something myself, maybe with a designer. Here, it's a complicated thing. It's hard enough to make a game, said a third Bioware developer. It's really hard to make a game where you have to fight your own tool set all the time.
So, let's break this down. You know what? I'm going to take back what I said earlier about me not being on my A game when it came to notes. I think I did a pretty damn good job. Everybody, in your car, whatever you're doing, in your cubicle, give me a round of applause. Standing ovation. I want you to stand up at your desk. If you're in your car, Tim Wolf, just get up. Get out for just a second. Don't worry. Little Timmy's going to be just fine. I know his name's Sammy. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. This is an awesome article. And it just divulges a lot of things that we were already kind of thinking as consumers. With that, Famous Seamus writes, after reading the Anthem article by Jason Schreier, do you feel that too many people were too eager to blame EA for Anthem's failure? So it seems like in this article, as we read more and more about it, it kind of felt like BioWare was too ambitious. They talk about in the article that they wanted to make a game where it was the Bob Dylan. That's actually the codename was Dylan. For that, they wanted this game to be remembered. For other games to take a look at it and go, we need to do that type of approach. And they bit off way too much that they can chew. They made a very ambitious game that they got lost in. There was multiple story revisions because, again, like the first paragraph up top, it was supposed to be called Beyond, because it was about going beyond the walls of this world, and calling it Anthem, they needed to find a way for that to make sense, which is just crazy to me. So with that, and then just, some stuff, Frostbite sucking, Steve, I'll go to you first, bud. Who is to blame? Is this on BioWare? Do you feel like we often point the blame at EA too much? Or
no, it's on EA. It's on EA.
Yeah.
EA is one of well, I don't know if they still are, but they're probably the biggest video game publisher that is synonymous in the industry, and they cut corners they cut corners by forcing this Frostbite engine that was made for a very specific genre of game. Mm-hmm. And regardless of all the problems that these developers have had with this engine, they did not bend and actually support them. They were talking about in this article, it wasn't one of your bullet points, but they were talking about how when they wanted to get support for the Frostbite engine, it would trickle down. Yeah. So the big sports games would get precedence from the support team because they're the games that sell, and RPGs don't sell as well. So they were always down the list of getting help for the engine. So no, BioWare knows how to make games that we have seen that. What they didn't know how to do is make games in this engine, and as also evidenced by this article, talking about how they made a demo for, and I don't remember if it was somebody from EA or if it was somebody from the top of BioWare, but they made a demo. Right. Made a demo just for him. They had no gameplay to show him. They had nothing to show him. So they just made a demo. He said he hated it. So they spent the next months or whatever it was just making something that they thought he would like. and it had nothing to do with the game that they were making. And this was in 2016, I think it said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's less than 3 years ago that they still didn't have any idea what they were making.
Yeah, you go into the article, and Anthem's first mission was made sometime, I think, the article said sometime in, January 2018. This game was in such shambles. They didn't even have it ready or even an idea. They had maybe a roadmap of where this game was going to be a year from now. And it was supposed to be, again, EA pushed this. It had to be done by 2019, March of 2019, end of the fiscal quarter. Because, if you're EA, you've just spent 6.5 years making this game. Yeah, when is it going to be ready, right? Mm-hmm. And what you're speaking about earlier is there was a team that was super proficient in Frostbite there at the studio, but they shifted focus to FIFA because FIFA sells. Mm-hmm. So that game just took precedence because, this game is $1 billion game. This game, maybe one day, but we know this thing's a surefire hit. This thing is going to sell millions of copies, Kyle, I want to know what you think about this. Is this fault on EA or BioWare?
I think most of the blame does have to go to EA.
Right.
But the thing that really stood out to me in this article, and as I was reading these bullet points, something that really stuck with me is this whole BioWare Magic section of this article. Mm. This really bothers me, where they are stressing and putting all this crazy amount of work in the last few months to make the game come together. Mm-hmm. And sure, it has led to some amazing games. The Mass Effect Trilogy, Dragon Age, Origins, and Inquisition. Great games. But to force people to work so hard that they have stress casualties and they're out for months and some come back, some don't, right. That's a problem.
Yeah, when you have rooms dedicated for tiers, there is a problem. I think... At the end of the day, I think Steve's right. This falls on EA because they are the captains of the ship, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like the management level, Casey Hudson left and then rejoined the team in disarray. And when we look at this is, again, a line of mistakes across the board when it comes to the management, when it comes to EA. But BioWare, what the fuck is going on? That's not magic. That is an anxiety attack. That's BioWare anxiety right there. Mm-hmm. The belief that, and I hear it a lot too, so it might be just commonplace. God of War, I remember the article where Shuhei was like, a year before this game was going to come out, it was a bit in rough shape.
Same with The Last of Us.
Yeah, same with The Last of Us. So I do understand that games do, some of them, or a lot of them, come together in the witching hours, right? Where you're getting down to the hours and down to the launch. So I do understand that is a thing that happens, but it looks like to such an extent where they coined a fucking term out of it. Where this was happening on repeat and was so regular to them that they thought they could take on this super ambitious title where they didn't even want to say that this was Destiny. They wanted it to be something more. And for EA, I think it comes down to there's a communication problem amongst the management and amongst EA, whereas you take a look at God of War, you take a look at The Last of Us, you take a look at the people that are in charge of PlayStation first party. Shu, I'll never take you for granted. There's a type of communication and trust that PlayStation has had this generation where, Shu knows that this game might be a mess now, but he has faith. He's having this, at least this roadmap to where the game's going to get fixed or the game's going to be solid when it comes out.
Whereas, they're not afraid to delay.
Yeah. As for EA and Patrick Soderlund, though he's busy probably saving the world in 24, he's not doing, to me, he wasn't doing a job of, okay, what do you need for this game to succeed, rather than this needs to be out, it doesn't look as good, the graphics don't look as good as you promised. I don't know, something had to give. Is there anything you wanted to add, Steve? Because I blinked out in Nerd Rage.
No, I just think that, like we were talking about, it comes from the top and top down, and you have to be. I understand the hands-off approach. You don't want to mess with the artists that are making the art and whatnot, and they probably get enough shit for doing that. EA specifically, but there's a fine line there. If I'm, when I used to manage a restaurant, I don't necessarily tell people how to talk to their tables, because their personality has to kind of drive they're their own salesman kind of thing.
Right.
But if somebody's going there and just dropping F-bombs, I kind of need to get in there and say, hey,
this
okay,
steak's fucking delicious.
I know there's a way that you do things, but you're gonna have to meet me halfway. You could still be yourself, but you're gonna have to be yourself with a filter.
Yeah.
Just so that we don't have a problem. And I think that's why it falls on EA, because they clearly had a problem. I don't know how you could miss that type of problem. Like, if you don't have a game to show for 3 years of development, that's a problem. Like, you should have had something after 18 months. Right. You should have had something.
Yeah. The fact that your team didn't even fucking know, it's just like, dude, come on, man. I can't cut you a break here.
Right. I think it was part of that article where they would have like these high level meetings and be like, change this, change that, change this, but then they wouldn't tell the teams.
Yeah. Or they would come out so frustrated that they're just like, well, fuck you, Bob. I'm going to continue doing it my way. They're like, fuck you, Jimmy. Yeah, it's sorry, Tim Olson.
It's insane that this game even came out.
Yeah. And so with that, the games come out, and we have this roadmap bullshit. And, like, I'm tired of hearing it. Where, like, oh, the game's getting so much better with all these patches, man. Oh, my God, dude. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, I played the game at launch, and it sucked dick. I'm sorry. Okay,
maybe it should have come out in September? Maybe
it should have came out in May or June or July when it was actually ready. Because these updates, it's so much better now. A month after its release, when I'm already playing the Division that came out freaking solid. There is no excuse, and it is an excuse of, well, the game's better now, right? No. Yeah, of course the game's going to get better over time. Driveclub got better over time, but nobody gave a crap. So, like, I hate that excuse, and I hate the roadmap when it's used as, hey, guys, like, it's awesome to have a roadmap. Like, Apex Legends has a roadmap. Fortnite, best example, has this awesome roadmap of what you can expect, but they're not trying to fix something that's on fire. And that's what Anthem is. It feels completely rushed, barren. The world's empty. I don't give a shit about any of the characters except for the girl that says sexy danger. She's fucking cool. Everybody else, I don't care about. I don't care about the story. I only care about playing one of the classes. Like, sorry, the game's barren. Doesn't give me what I want. And it's empty. And it's devoid of any meaning, or purpose. So no, I'm not giving them credit of 3 weeks out. Oh my God, you're fixing it. It's so much better. It should have came out then now, and not a month from now or 2 months from now. I'm sick of the empty promises of the roadmaps when you release something that's so half baked. There's no excuse for it. You know,
they already had the money. They already had the pre-order money. They already had all those people signing up for the beta and getting all excited. Can you imagine if Super Mario 64 came out and when you go down a pipe or in a picture, it's just a black screen and a picture of Mario being like, woohoo, and like a little tip for like 4 straight minutes before you could stomp on a Goomba's head? Can you imagine?
But if Miyamoto came out and he's like, but we have a roadmap, you guys. Yeah. And 3 weeks from now.
Don't worry. Level 3's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, all right? And trust me, level 4
on the way.
Level 4 in 4 months is going to blow your mind, dude. Wait.
And for just $4.99, you could have level 5. It's coming, though. It's coming. We're working on it. We're working on it.
What's that? The fire? Don't look at it.
You guys are done stomping on Koopas? Don't worry. Don't worry. We have Boomerang Bros coming in December. We
got guys chucking hammers. They're coming.
Wild Appalachia is coming.
Yeah. Look at Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Look at that game. What was that? 3 years of development? 4 years of development? Whatever it was. Like, look at the shit they crammed in that thing. Look at World of Light. Are you kidding me?
Yep. Like, dude, look at Breath of the Wild. You know? I know this is a PlayStation show, but let's talk about it for a second. Like, dude, like, all these games, they felt good. And this game felt empty. I was done with it after playing the horrible story. Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. My question is, like, does this game see? Is there a second chance? Is there a redemption to Anthem, or is this a yikes? Like what
Listen,
happens to
if
Edmonton?
No Man's Sky could have a redemption,
Anything's
like
possible.
Honestly, the difference though with that was that I at least I felt No Man's Sky. They were like, okay, you're right. Yeah, we fucked that up.
Yeah.
That we're gonna go crawl in our hole now, and we're gonna come out for free,
Yeah.
and we're gonna give you what you deserve.
And we're not going to say anything until we have it fixed.
Unlike those Destiny assholes who had the audacity to charge $40 fucking dollars
for their
to
fixes.
actually have content that's worth a damn in the game. Like I remember I played Destiny, I was all into Destiny. I was like, okay, the first DLC is
Same.
coming, and it was perfect for me because I wasn't that particularly good at the game, so I didn't do those long grinds and like out level everything. So I was looking forward to the DLC because I was on pace with it. So whatever. And then I fall off to the game and I'm like, you know what? This game just kind of sucks. And then 2 DLCs go by and my buddy's like, oh no, you should come back, man.
It's so much better now.
The Wolf Glass Fang DLC is so fucking good. They added a story that it's actually what they said it was going to be. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know, I'll jump in. I got to pay $40 for 2 DLC packs that I missed. Like, no, I'm not giving you $120 or whatever it was all in to play this game. I'm sorry. Have it.
Steve, I like how I told you, like, okay, you could curse, and then you're like, all right, I'm off the fucking leash. Let's go.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Oh, I like it. I like this.
All right. I'm done. I'm good.
No, you can say, don't worry. Listen, Sammy over here, he just got out of rehab. He's going to be fine. He was loving this. With that, yeah, I don't know if there's a redemption for Anthem. I know I'm never going to fucking touch it again. Everyone, I need you to hold on to something. Steve, I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
We're doing something called Prepare the Drop. Each and every week, the latest and greatest in PlayStation games drop in this very, I don't know, in the palm of our hands. I fucked up on this. It's too tight. You know what? Whatever. I'm going to say it in a cool voice. Latest and greatest games. And sometimes there's too many games to count. So we can only pick one game that gets us hyped. With that, my pick this week is Beat Blaster. It's a PSVR game that's out digital on the 5th. Beat Blaster is a high-speed VR game about shooting, running, where everything happens to the beat of the music. The original mix of styles, with each level offers new challenges. Why did I pick this? Because it kind of sounds like Beat Saber, but with guns. Kyle, what's your pick?
Borderlands Game of the Year edition.
But you won't let me buy it. You were telling me about the second one.
Yeah, Joe. I want to play Borderlands because I'm such a fan of 2. I want to experience 1 all the way through. For you, Borderlands 2 is the way to go because I feel 3 is closer to 2.
It's $25.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, hotshot.
$25 on Amazon. You think you're gonna go to? Hey, Steve, you got a game. That's fine. We can skip over this. Don't worry about it.
The Power Rangers are back.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Whoa, you got Siri hard with that one. She says, "You are the wind beneath my wings." All right, Siri, calm down.
It's morphing time.
Oh,
Yeah. So as much as this game is inevitably going to suck, and it is devoid of characters you actually care about.
Yeah.
It's still it's a Power Rangers game, and I just love Power Rangers. So
Yeah.
I get it.
yeah. I've heard actually, I haven't played it yet, but I've heard it's actually a pretty good fighting game.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. It's like it's decent.
It just has like the weirdest characters, like a police officer.
With a
sweet.
gun. Like he has like an M4,
yeah.
and I'm like, what the
Wait,
fuck?
wait, oh my god, Stryker from Mortal Kombat made his way to the Power Rangers?
Yeah,
I
apparently.
believe it's Zach, the Black Ranger, is a cop now.
All right.
Oh wow, okay.
Well,
It's just the weirdest like collection of characters. Like they don't have all 5 Power Rangers.
Where's Ivan Ooze? It's the only character I care about.
Yeah.
Now,
Try spending. What is it? What does he say? Spending a millennia down in a hole or something. It's boring.
That movie's so bad. I watched it like a couple months ago. It was like on Stars or something. I was just like, what the fuck? Why did I like this as a kid? Jesus. All right, so here's the deal. I went to PAX, right, this week. It was pretty fun. But on the way there, so we have a little segment on the show. Steve, I'm going to let you in on it. It's called Andrew House's Snail Mail. See, you can write in via the Trophy Room, PSTrophyRoom on Twitter, or you can send us your questions on Discord, the Casa de Badbit Discord, or you can mail them to Andrew House, where I, Mr. Badbit, will sneak in various different ways and steal his mail and sometimes his Turkish delights. And so with that, this week, so what I did, I forged a couple of signatures, a couple of handwriting, and I mailed it to Andy. I played the long game on this one. And he opened up the scroll, because in Britain they have scrolls. And they're just
hold
like...
on, Joe. The wire tap fell off. Hold on, give me a second.
The wire tent?
I gotta put the wire tap back on.
Oh, okay, good.
All right,
yeah,
good.
No, we found out Kyle's part of the fucking NSA, guys. Long story. Anyway, so... I sent him this fucking scroll, this carrier pigeon, whatever, this brand. And he's just like, PAX East cordially invites you, Andrew House, to win the Andrew House Award, the first annual Andrew House Award. We'd be honored and privileged. And I bought him a ticket, first class. I bought him a very beautiful hotel. And then I took advice from Donald Trump. I ordered 2 women to pee on his bed just to get at him. Just to get at him. So when he laid down, he was just like, oh my goodness. And so anyway, dumb idiot. So I fly him out there, and then I get on my jet, and I fly over to Britain, and I'm walking in, and I put the mask on. I put the Andrew House mask on, and I'm him, right? British people, they all look alike. So I just put on the Andrew House mask. I'm walking in his house because the mail's on his dresser, and the kids are like, "Oh, hello, Pop. Hello. How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, kids, fucking stupid idiots, stupid fucking idiots." I'm walking upstairs, and then his wife just goes, "Hello, love," and I'm like, "Hello, you fucking stupid idiot." I take the mail and I just walk out. The stupid idiots didn't even know. So anyway, that wasn't as good as last week. But you know what?
But you got the mail.
I got the mail anyway. The stupid kids call me Dad. Like, hello, Papa. You stupid idiots.
We will never get any preview codes. We will never get any passes to PSX.
Whatever, man. It's worth it just for a cheap thrill. Tim Ulf's son. This is an update from Neo Prime. Tim Ulf's son, my son Sammy, or Tim Ulf Jr., has successfully completed rehab. And it's looking, this is a joke from Twitter, by the way, guys, for anyone out of the loop. Looking forward to listening to your show again. I told him he has missed out on some great shows. Then he listened to the last show, and he's back in rehab. Before he was admitted, he wanted to send this question. If you were Shu, would you also send some Sony games to the Nintendo Switch? If yes, which games or franchises would make sense on the platform? And what would you want in return? Now I must return to Sam and his padded room. Jesus Christ, I really tormented this kid, huh? Visiting hours are almost over, but this will make him happy. Well, Sammy, I hope everything's going well. We curse too much on the show, and it's bad. So, Microsoft gave Nintendo Cuphead because they're desperate. Stupid idiots, stupid losers. This is the best game you got. So, my question for you guys, or Tim Wolf's question, is what is one PlayStation game that makes sense, and we can't just give them a bad one, right? Like, we can't just give them Knack. Knack's too good for this. What's one game we would send over to Nintendo? What's one Nintendo game we want over here that makes sense in our portfolio? Kyle, I'm going to go with you, sir.
All right, so I have the one that I think Sony should send to Nintendo.
Okay.
It's going to be Dreams. Dreams on the Switch, creating on the go, I think is pretty awesome. And I think that's just like a match made in heaven. The Joy-Cons can work as the Move controllers, same type of...
Ooh, I like where this is going. Okay.
So I think Dreams is an easy one to send to Nintendo. What do I want Nintendo to send to us?
Like, what game's even worth it?
I mean, there are some quality games over there.
I can't think of one.
I just like I don't want to. I don't want to say Smash because I hope PlayStation All Stars comes.
No, yeah, we already have the better one. Yeah.
Man, I can't really. Come back to me on that one.
Okay, Steve, what's one PlayStation game you would want to see on the Nintendo Switch?
So it's kind of. I mean, it was PlayStation exclusive, but I don't think it was published by them. It could have been. Not sure, but I think Dark Cloud 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Dark Cloud Collection on the go
Okay.
on the Switch would be really good.
Okay.
And then maybe Nintendo could take over the franchise from, I think it was Level 5 made those.
All right.
I think.
All right.
I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Yep.
So what would be then a Nintendo game you'd want to see on a PlayStation platform? That makes sense.
So I wouldn't want a Nintendo game, but I think a character would fit in really well with some of the Sony franchises, and I think that Samus would fit well in maybe a Horizon type situation. Maybe even if it's just like a one-off, like a Starlink situation with Fox.
Who's making that?
Like,
Who's making that? What studio would you want to take care of Samus?
I think I would. I'd probably go with Gorilla. I think that they have the whole shooter and the adventure thing, kind of the open world thing. They have both of those genres pretty tight in hand. But I think maybe like a little buddy cop situation between Aloy and Samus would be really cool. Technology's there.
It's like Prometheus and Bob.
Yeah.
Never see that on Nick. Alien. That's dope. Anyway, Kyle, did you get a Nintendo game you want to see? Okay.
Star Fox. I think PlayStation needs a flight combat type game, and I think Star Fox fits. We need to save it somehow.
Yeah.
That is true.
What PlayStation game am I sending to Nintendo? What IP? This is a rough one because I really don't know. Because I feel like, I'll be real with you. I mean, we could be real as rain right now. Sony copies the shit out of Nintendo like all the time. Like, look at the PlayStation Classic, but like none of their games to me seem like they belong anywhere near a Nintendo console. I don't know if that's just me. So if I was you, let's see. I'm trying to look around for inspiration. Let me see.
He's literally looking around for inspiration. This isn't a bit, folks. He's literally looking around.
It's like you think I put these notes in, I would prepare. You know what? We're just giving them Bloodborne. They need to. No. We're not giving them that fucking gem. No. We're giving them Demon Souls. They're gonna love it. They're gonna eat that shit up. Nintendo fans, Steve, you know this. If it's a 5-year-old, 6-year-old game, they'll eat that shit up. They'll pay full price. Look at the Resident Evil collection.
We already did. We got.
It's a cop out.
Yeah, that is a cop out. What Nintendo game I would like to see on PlayStation? Dude, it's simple. It's the best Switch game there is right now, and it makes no sense to be in their portfolio, but it is, and that's Splatoon. Because Splatoon's
I thought
best.
about Splatoon.
I just went, and then bam, they're just there. And I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Oh, I get to play with a good controller. It's gonna be great. All right, we're running out of steam. Let's get on to the next question. Brandon Myers, the Winter Gamer, writes in, and he streams via Mixer, and he asks, with Project X Cloud possibly making Xbox Play Anywhere and the Switch getting a possible powered-up Pro model, do you see this as a threat to Sony, or do you think or do you think the way Sony is, and with its exclusives, can still hold on to its lead next generation? I feel, especially for me, Sony can still be relevant, but the ease of access with Switch and can play it at work, and maybe Project X Cloud where I can use my phone to play Xbox. I feel Sony needs a way for me to play to play where I can still play my games without needing a console. You know what? Just you read it.
It's called the Vita.
It's dead.
Brendan, I have a question.
Yes.
On your Xbox Play Cloud and your Nintendo Switch, as much as I love my Switch, how's Uncharted on that? Is it good? How's God of War? How's Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
How's Killzone? How's Dreams?
Ooh, I like
how's
this.
God, I love
It's like I said,
Steve.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. PC gamers got, Origami
Half-Life,
Killer.
yeah.
You got the Origami Killer recently. You stole that from us. I get it. Okay, it's great. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah,
Viva
yeah.
victory.
Yeah.
But if you don't have games that are worth playing in those situations and in some X Cloud, then it doesn't matter. Sony is not. One of the things that, and I don't mean to tear apart your message, but I'm going to.
Yeah, sorry.
I feel especially for me, Sony can still be relevant.
Oh man.
Are
Are you picking a fight
kidding
with
me?
Brandon? Are you picking
Brandon,
a fight with the
Bro-
woman?
Brendan,
Yeah.
still be relevant, dude. They sold twice as many consoles, more than twice as many consoles as Xbox.
Yeah.
It's not about staying. It's not about still being relevant. It's about staying ahead. And if they want to stay ahead, yes, they have to up their game for their games eventually. PS5, bro. PS5. Just be
wait.
patient.
Just wait.
It's coming.
I feel you there. Listen,
Yep.
there's a reason I love. I'm always the first to say this because everybody calls me a PlayStation fanboy, but I love Halo. I love Fable. I love Gears of War. OG Xbox is one of my favorite consoles of all time. I love Xbox. I love to
Jade
see
Empire.
them. What's that?
Jade Empire. Oh man,
Exactly.
my nips
Exactly.
just got real hard.
Rip Bioware, am I right? So like I love to see what Microsoft's doing right now and them fixing what has been broken this generation. But when it comes to PlayStation right now, we're fine. Just because like the one thing that I feel gets lost a lot is just because we're not announcing and promising the world right now, and not because we're saying, hey, things are getting better here, doesn't mean things aren't great. Right? Like Xbox has made a lot of promises this generation to keep their audience where they are right now, to stop the bleeding, as it were. As we're PlayStation, we've seen it through their first party games. And sure, there might be a lull period where we're going to have one or two in a row that don't hit, but right now what we've seen is Sony is on another level of games that sell consoles. And until Xbox has that, they bought these studios, we haven't seen them make anything with these studios. PlayStation's fine. Everybody's off in their own area right now. Xbox is going to try to take on Google when it comes to streaming services and reaching that 200 mobile devices. That's cool. Nintendo's in their own mobile-ish world. That's dope. Sony right now is just like, hey, we're just going to stay the same-ish right now until we see what the PlayStation 5 is. I personally like that PlayStation isn't revealing all their cards. I like that we haven't had these promise type of experiences from them. So
This whole
It's fine.
this whole gen was like, you know, Microsoft and Sony came out, and Microsoft was on their boat, and they just took a power drill and just started drilling holes in their boat. And we're like, oh shit, there's holes in this boat. We're taking on water. What do we do? And the first thing is like, don't worry, we have a bucket.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, the bucket's getting the water out. And then they're like, hey guys, you should come over. Like eventually they invented flex tape is what I'm getting at. So eventually they invent flex tape and they're like, hey guys, we got flex tape. And then Sony's over there like, yeah, we have a boat that doesn't have holes in it. Like, hey, remember last gen we tried to sail in a Volkswagen Beetle and it sank like a rock.
I think again we're seeing Sony pave its way of fixing things little by little, and they might not be the best fixes yet. But I don't know exactly what PlayStation needs to do. I think we're seeing them do small things like we see with their iPhone app, right? The remote play. I bet you that's going to get a lot better when the PlayStation 5 comes out, right? Like you see with the digital returns right now, that's going to be better when the PlayStation 5 comes out. So there are just things that they're fixing right now. The only hurdle they need to jump over is crossplay. And if they're just like, you know what, we get it, we're on board too, we're fine. That's that's my biggest thing. Kyle, what about you? Then we really need to hit PAX.
No, I agree with both of you. Sony's fine.
Good.
Exclusives are fine.
Good.
That's where the stories are that I want to play. And to your point, Steven, a little bit is we still have the 3 major exclusives that are coming to PlayStation at some point very soon that we know about. And then obviously the next generation PS5. I mean, Sony's fine, and every single system has its own unique thing about it, which is great, and everyone just love everybody. ELE.
Yeah.
Everyone love everyone.
Everybody's gonna be fine, man. With that, our last question, which will bring us to the second portion of the show. The most famous Seamus writes back to back this week, asking, what was your favorite moments at PAX East? Now, with that, we have 5 games that we have played, each of which we're going to have just a nice little elevator pitch of what these games were, why we're excited about it, and we'll have a little conversation about each. Does that sound good?
Sound good?
Yep.
Let's get Steve streaming here. Steve, what's the first game that you played at PAX? Your top 5. Your number 5.
All right, so I'm coming off right off the bat with Days Gone. I had never gone hands-on with it. I had been really not following much of the game. I just knew that I was hoping for the best with it, and I was really pleasantly surprised with how beautiful it looked. Number one, how it really handled really well. It felt really good to play. It felt like a Naughty Dog game to me, and I was really impressed with it. So yeah, Days Gone is right off the bat something that really impressed me.
I enjoyed the shit out of it. This was literally the first game I played on the show floor, and yeah, it blew me away. To me, it kind of felt like a Horizon meets, I guess, if we're gonna do an elevator pitch, a Naughty Dog-esque experience. Like, it felt like an open world like Horizon was, where you have all these things to do, where it kind of had the weapon wheel mechanic that, I believe Horizon had as well, and it worked really well in the moment when you're getting chased by hordes of zombie or freakers. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I played where I was just stabbing things in the neck constantly. Kyle, you played totally passive, right?
Yeah, I stealthed through the entire thing. Only killed when I had to. And when I had to, it was those little children freakers, which are really weird. And they only attack you when you get into their territory or they feel threatened. And that was a little intense. Using a shotgun to these little children zombie.
That's how you know they don't give a shit.
I beat the shit out of them with a bat. Did you? I laced into them like they were misbehaved at Sunday church. I just fucking laced them.
That is for sure. That's on my list too. Days Gone. I loved it. Yeah. And my first takeaway is when I stepped up to that station to play. It is drop dead gorgeous. Something that I was not expecting from this. Don't know why, but when I stepped up and saw each individual pore on Deacon's face,
yeah,
it's insane the amount of detail that's in this, and it's awesome. I can't wait. The one regret I have is I'm stupid enough. I did not try the bike out.
Ooh,
I knew beforehand. I was like, "Oh, the bike is such an integral part of the story." Yeah. And then when I got to the horde mode, I guess it was standing right beside me, but I went and grabbed the gun and I forgot all about it, and I'm real upset about that.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I love the horde mode, man. That was the other thing. It was just there's hundreds of things on the screen and it's not hitching. There's no frame rate drop. Yeah. Even when you're causing a huge explosion, they're just at worst, you just see some of them just go, bruh, and fall to the floor. But other than that, it ran perfectly fine. Yeah, the attention to detail, dope. Kyle?
Yeah.
What's your game you played at PAX? One of them.
So I picked some games so we don't have some overlap.
Okay.
So a lot of the games that Joe has, I also played and love. My one that I want to talk about is a game from Supermassive. It is their next game after Until Dawn, which is a great PlayStation exclusive. It's a Man of Medan. And while the demo there had its issues, it had some audio glitches and stuff. What it did, though, was the atmosphere they pulled off in this game is top-notch.
Yeah.
It is Until Dawn taken to the next degree. Yeah. It looks gorgeous. The way that they have you pick whether you are a rational decision maker or you make decisions with your heart is pretty cool. And I'm excited to see how that changes how you play in the game itself. I'm just happy that we get another supermassive story-based type of game.
See, here's the thing, though. Like, rational or irrational, I'm always going to choose rational because that seems like this is going to be the move you always want to make. I want to be rational in this moment.
I don't know. I made a couple of rational decisions in the demo.
Yeah. I let that one dude die because he came on to me in a real creepy way. And I was just like, bruh, I don't know you. You know? And you're just, like, coming on to me? You know, I was taking that shit. I was feisty, man. Anyway, you just can't come in here. All right. The game I played was Dreams. Now, I half chose this because I'm serious. Other half just to troll Luke Lawyer. Dude, I played it. They let me on for like 30 minutes. Nice-ass beanbag chair. And this game's dope. This is everything you think it would be and more. It's amazing. Like, the awesome PR person, Jess, sat me down. She's just like, here's the music in Dreams that you could compose. There's some that people have made. Here's what Meteor Molecule have made. Here's some paintings that people and the community made and we made. Here's some games that played a lot of them. For the most part, they were really good. And a lot of this was just like community-driven work. Like during the alpha, during the private beta, whatever they were calling it. Like that was awesome. They were showcasing people's creations first and then theirs was awesome. And seeing what people have already made, holy crap, dude. I get it. Like this is not going to be a game that's going to light the world on fire. It might be my Crackdown, right? Where like I looked at that game, I was like, yeesh, and just kind of walked away from it. But when I look at Dreams, I just see the potential, and I just see it like again. Like I saw, and I said this on my YouTube video. I saw a little boy just create a cat, and I'm just like, holy crap! In like 15 minutes, this little kid like created something like that. That's awesome. And if this is like PlayStation's Minecraft, and when I mean Minecraft is here's a game that we made just so you could create shit. That's awesome. And it doesn't have to be for me. This game is definitely not. But, like, I see the potential, and I like it. Nothing from you guys? Fucking peanut gallery. All right, Steve? Yes.
Well, just for Dreams intimidates me, so I didn't even trying it, so I don't have much to say about it.
Dude, just give it a chance. I'm telling you, like, I just played stuff, but just, like, seeing how easy it was to create stuff was pretty dope.
Yeah, in the beta, they do a really good job of holding your hand through it.
Yeah.
And really take the time to make sure you can learn how to do it the right way.
Steve, what's your pick, man?
This game called Mistover.
Okay, what is this?
So Mistover is it's a procedural. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get it right. Procedurally generated survival, strategical Japanese role playing game.
Holy shit!
Is that enough for you?
Yeah. I get.
So, think Turkish dungeon where you're kind of you're there's permadeath.
Mm-hmm.
You essentially in the demo that we played, it was specific to PAX, and you got goodies based on how well you did in the demo. But every demo was different because it's procedurally generated. So essentially, it was just find the exit, collect treasure, and fight if you have to. So we kind of just moved around, and as you pick up items, the items that you wind up having on you when you left if you succeeded, you would bring that to the desk, and they would give you prizes based on what you found in the game. So it was pretty cool, but it's incredibly ambitious. And if you want to check it out, if you want to know a little bit more about it, you could go to our YouTube channel, which unfortunately I don't have a short link to. But if you put in YouTube Nintendo Dual Screens, Duel with an E, you could find our channel. It has our logo, and we did an interview with. Yeah. Cool. We did an interview with one of the PR people, and she was fantastic. And the game really did impress me. It looks on surface, it looks like a mobile game, but there is so much going on with the combat and the exploration and just the systems you're juggling. You're juggling your hunger. You're juggling. It's really, really good. Really ambitious.
All right.
And it's made by oh shoot, I forget the name of the company, but they used to be Bluehole. They used to be
really?
Bluehole, who made PUBG.
And they split off to make their own thing. And so wait, are they a Korean studio?
Yes.
Oh,
Crafton. Crafton Game Union. That's who they are. Crafton Game Union.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah, they were so. We gave them the Nintendo Dual Screens podcast seal of approval.
Nice.
Which is right here, and they put it on their booth. They were so ecstatic to get it.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was adorable.
That was
But yeah,
awesome.
missed over. One word, missed over.
All right. I'll give it a shot. Kyle, what about you? What was another game that you enjoyed?
So, if you've listened to the show before, you know I like me some rogue-like games.
That's not a character.
Like Rogue Legacy. And I was walking down the aisle, and I stumbled upon a game that didn't have many lines. And that was my go-to on Saturday, was to try to play as much as possible. So I sat down, and the game is called Undermine. And before I hopped in to play, the guy said, "Do you like roguelike games?" I was like, "Yeah, Rogue Legacy is one of my favorite games of all time." He goes, "Perfect. We modeled this game after Rogue Legacy and The Binding of Isaac." So the art style is kind of like The Binding of Isaac type thing. And you basically, you go down into these mines, you try to get as much gold as you can, and then if you save certain people that are in the mines, they go back up and open a shop, which you can now use later as you go through the story and have to continue going through the dungeons. And they have these little, I forgot what they called the little monsters, but once you mine for the gold and the gold goes all over the map, these little like slime dudes pop up and they try to steal your gold. So you have to make sure you try to collect the gold before they take it. The game looks great. It's not confirmed to be PlayStation yet, but the guy said they're working on it, which is awesome. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. So Undermine is the name of that game.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Dope.
Put it on my radar.
Yeah, that sounds dope. And I just subscribed to you as Bad Big Games. Look at that, Steve. You got a new subscriber tonight.
Did it.
Everything
That's
was
number
a success.
Number 20.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Don't worry, I'm like number 5. Don't worry about it. Like, I got 2 people that listen, and one of them's my mom. So anyway, with that, no, and the other person's my dad. So I got fans. It's
You're your
slow.
biggest fan.
All right, yeah. I'm sorry. This is how tired I am. The next is me. So the next game that I got, let's do Dangerous Driving. Because Kyle, very similar to you, sir, I picked this game up because the line was short, and there was chairs. There were so many chairs, and there's like 3 little kids in front of me, and it was the cutest thing in the world because they're all dressed up like characters from Hollow Knight, and like to see you just
nice.
like there's 3 dads with 2 boys and 1 girl. I was just like, PAX is awesome. You're just seeing, this is awesome. You know, like you're just seeing the love of like one generation to the other. It's amazing. Nonetheless, though, the devs took a picture of the kid like playing the game. I was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And this game is Burnout. To its core, this is the same people that made the original Burnout games. I talked to the creative director about it because I wanted to shake his hand. I wanted to just give as much love to the developers as I could at PAX. Just tell me you're doing a good fucking job. And he sat me down and he was just like, people said that nobody wanted this game. Like every publisher we talked to said nobody wants Burnout anymore. This game is here to prove them wrong. 7 people, 7 months. Dangerous Driving is exactly what you want a Burnout game to be. It's more Burnout. So if you suck at racing games like I do, like you just crash into everything constantly, this game rewards you for crashing into shit constantly. Now, it's not the prettiest game in the world, right? But at the same exact time, this game is $30 when it comes out in about like a week.
6 days.
6 freaking days.
April 9th.
I need to really contact them fast, should I, huh? Because, like, dude, this game was awesome.
The game was awesome. I also played it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Burnout fan. The old school ones on PS2. And it felt exactly like that. And when you knock another car off the road and it goes into slow motion, or even better yet, when you crash, it goes into slow motion and you can after touch it and move your car to cause wrecks after the fact. It's fantastic. I'm happy that they get a chance to bring that franchise in a spiritual successor. In that sort of way back to life. It's awesome.
Awesome. Steve, what is your pick, sir?
Oh man, Skullgirls 2. Did you guys check this one out?
I
Oh,
know
man.
I know what Skullgirls. It's a fighting game, correct?
Yeah, it's a fighting game, but it's essentially plays a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom, but
Ooh.
the art is hand drawn and hand animated.
Oh wow.
It is
nice.
absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Holy shit! Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Dude, the game, from what I played of it, it's still a little bit away. I think they said summer, but man, was it fun! And I don't mean to brag, but I did beat the PR person.
Oh, suck it, PR guy.
It was a she, but you know I feel like the dude would have kicked my ass. But no, it's tag team fighting.
Okay.
You swap out the ultimate moves, almost those half circles and quarter circle punches and kicks, and
Yeah.
it's super fluid. It really good.
Dude, it does remind me
I
so
enjoy
much
it.
of like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 type of like, shit, you don't see this anymore. That's the thing. What a great
And
game.
and one of the things that they had mentioned was that they are using the very top technology for online.
Mm-hmm.
So to have no lag whatsoever, no input lag, no issues with matchmaking, all that stuff. Like they are using the very top notch. I forget the name of the system, but it's like the top of the line online infrastructure for the game. So
That's awesome. That's
keep it on your radar.
Yeah, no, that's like if I was into fighting games, this would be something to look at. Holy shit, Kyle.
I'm not into fighting games.
yeah?
I'm not. Like I don't buy them, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, the Capcom style of game, I just love to play. I suck at it, but I just love to play it. So
Oh, same. Kyle,
Yeah.
what's your number 3 pick, dude?
Next one would be a game called Res Please.
Rest blocks.
Again, another game was in it was in the smaller section of the indie mega booth. It was
Okay.
like the mini indie booth section. Basically, it is a puzzle platformer where you can switch back and forth between two different characters, and you need to use the other character. You can play it as co-op, but you need to use your friend in this game to solve platforming puzzles. Obviously, it's a puzzle platformer. But the reason why I thought it was so cool and so great, and I can't get it out of my mind, is like the ways to solve these puzzles are you need to kill your friend, throw him on spikes to use him as a platform to get to the other side, and then when you get to across that problem, you resurrect your buddy and they hop back to
Yo, this seems like hardcore snipper clips.
Oh, I can't wait. And the developer there said that later on you'll earn like magic abilities, but none of the magic will work correctly. So, for example, once you learn telekinesis, if you concentrate too hard on the telekinesis spell,
Yeah.
like if you hold down the button too long, your head will explode and you will die. So
Holy shit.
you need to like make sure you use them correctly, and the platforming sections felt great. The switching back and forth felt great. I love Res Please. It might be my game of the show if it wasn't for another one.
Oh, snap. I like this. Here's my number 2 pick. Are you ready?
Ready?
Bloodroots.
There's my game of the show.
Oh, Kyle, this game is so good. You told me, you go, Joe, you have to, you and Mike, you were like, you have to play Bloodroots. It's so good. I walk in, and not a long line, so I'm like, I'm up for this. This is the third game I played. And first game was Days Gone, second was Dreams, and then it was Bloodroots. Just think about Hotline Miami meets a lumberjack, and it meets like a samurai game. That's what this game feels like. It's all about getting from point A to point B without dying, and it's all about hitting the enemy first before they can hit you. Everybody has a one-shot health, including yourself. So it's all about chaining combos. It's all about chaining kills. The most efficient way to the finish line, you get the better score. So to me,
it's all timed.
it's all timed. Yeah. To me, Bloodroots, man, it was awesome because like there's one part like I was watching someone else play, and they got this fucking huge like chain chomp thing. And the chain chomp thing hook shots you to enemies and kills them and makes you jump in the air. This guy got the chain chomp weapon and a barrel, and he was running over people, and then he used the chain chomp weapon to hook shot to someone and then to kill 3 other people like that. And then he picked up like a stick and then he just threw it at someone. Like it was nuts. It was like the Matrix. I don't know. It was amazing. I picked it up. I wasn't obviously as good as Kyle, but I loved it. And this is coming out on PC, Nintendo Switch, and the PlayStation Quadruple. So obviously you know where I'm going to be getting it, the Switch.
We also interviewed the co-founder of Paper Cult Games.
Yes, that's the developer. I should have put the developer's
awesome.
name. Yeah. Dude, awesome. They're awesome. Holy shit, that game was dope. Steve?
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to hit you with another dope-ass game,
All right.
Cyber Shadow. Cyber Shadow is
is this
the
the
game...
one that Shovel Knight is publishing?
Yes, it is.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that they were at PAX.
Yes, indeed. And let me tell you, it is what you think it is. It is a 8 to 16-bit platforming ninja game where, Ninja Gaiden / Strider just slicing shit up and bouncing off walls and fighting bosses, and soundtrack is what you think it's going to be. It is top notch. Like, there's a reason why Shovel Knight guys, and I'm sorry, I don't. What the hell's the
Yacht Club
what's
game.
the Yacht Club? Yeah, Yacht Club. There's a reason why they picked this game. Like, it is going to be really good. Like The Messenger good. If not better. It's more simple, but absolutely gorgeous. And I mean,
it has like that SNES vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Kyle, your number 2 pick.
Emily is Away 3. If you're not familiar with the Emily is Away franchise, it's made by this one guy, also named Kylie. Good lord, I messed up my own name. Also made by somebody named Kyle. Good lord, I'm tired. He basically makes these love letters to social media. And the first 2 games took place all in AIM, where you would chat with somebody in AIM, and obviously Emily pops up, and then problems start happening when Emily shows up. This one is all about Facebook. 2008 era Facebook, and the way this demo started was you create your profile, you click your favorite bands and favorite books, and just like you would when you set up the old Facebook. And as you were playing, this is only PC because you need a keyboard. Trust me, it's worth it. It instantly transported me back to 2008. I was a junior in college, and I was tabbing between chats on Facebook with these characters and just loving life. And I felt like I was back 11 years. The way he captures the spirit of what social media was back then is perfect. And apparently he was supposed to stop you once Emily pops up on the Facebook chat. And I didn't even realize it because I was just in the groove, tapping between chats and stopping, and kept going. The game is fantastic. I didn't play his first 2, but I watched Kind of Funny play through them, and I loved them watching them. But this one I'm going to
never heard of them. I maybe I'll give these guys a watch.
Yeah, you should.
Like they need it.
This one is fantastic. It's great. I cannot wait to play this.
Awesome. All right. Well, my last one, my personal game of the show. Now, and while I was playing, I was like, this is weird because Joe 2 years ago would not be playing this game. I don't know what it is with me. Oh, did I say, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me, Steve? Thank you for, you know what? I think you know why I'm calling it Ghost in the Well. Because I'm thinking Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. Is Creature in the Well. And I'm going to sit you down here. Back 2 years ago, I could not give a shit about indie games, but I don't know what has happened to me over the past 2 years where, man, they're getting to me. They're hitting me where I live right now. Creature in the Well, holy crap. It is a pinball meets brick breaker meets dungeon crawler. And where you're this little robot. And it's kind of like a reverse Horizon Zero Dawn situation. There's a robot mountain, and this thing creates your kind, and it's just stopped working. You're the last little robot, and you need to save your people. Are they people? I don't know. That's very philosophical.
Yeah, people has nothing to do with whether you're human. People is any collection
You're right.
of intelligent and
We're getting
or
deep.
societal creatures.
Jesus. All right. Well, anyway, you're here to help your little robot friends. And you're solving puzzles via, like, you have this little sword, but you're not using it to whack your enemies. You're actually using it to whack the orbs to hit various points to solve puzzles, or to hit back at turrets, or like to defeat these little platforming boss things. It's awesome. It's unlike any other game that I've played before. Like, it's completely unique. Like, the only thing that I can even just say it's the closest thing to is, like, remember when you were playing the old-timey pinball machines and they had like quests to complete, and one of them's like, hit this thing, X amount of times and you'll get to the next level. That's kind of what this game feels like, but in video game action form. It is amazing. So far, it's only, I believe, on PC and Switch, but I did beg the developers to bring it on PS4. Did I bribe them with money? No. I just asked politely. And they said, we'll think about it.
Just a quick aside, that is where I met Geneviève Saint-Onge Miller for the
Same
first
here.
time.
And she's so nice. And you said her name perfectly, and I can't. I'm not even going to pretend.
Well, they introduced her as Genevieve. I was like, this is Geneviève.
Yeah.
This is Geneviève Saint-Onge Miller.
Yeah.
And she recognized me from, because we had been going back and forth with Pop Agenda to get like appointments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the first member of ancillary or proper Kind of Funny family that I have
got
met.
to meet. That's awesome, dude.
We also interviewed the devs again.
Yeah.
You could go to the YouTube and see that video. And fun fact, Andy, my co-host on Nintendo Dual Screens podcast, cheap plug for the 5th time.
You don't worry. This is your job. You're doing it well.
Did it the fastest that they've ever seen anybody do it.
That's
the demo.
dope. Yo, I was struggling
yeah.
so bad because I'm a stupid idiot. Like, just like Andy House, you stupid idiot. But, like, I was struggling so bad. One time I was like, can you help me? Because I'm dumb. But I almost... What's that? I'm sorry.
I was just helping you curse out Andrew Hess.
Stupid idiot. He got there. He's just like, his bed's pissed on. He says, what is this? What is this? What have I come home to? God. This joke is a real piece of shit. Anyway, back to Creature in the Shell. Or see look what I've done.
It doesn't
Creature in the Well.
now it's just
Creature
how it
in the
is.
Well.
Now they got to change the name.
Yep.
Let's start a petition.
A petition. No, but seriously, game's dope. Go pick it up, even if it's for the Switch. All right, just go do it.
Heard that.
Yeah. Kyle, what is your last game
Are
of
we
show?
skipping over Steve?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah.
No, he's the guest. He's the
go in
guest.
order.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he's the guest. We want to save him for last.
Guess what, friends?
What's that?
I got to play Control.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
I doubt it.
I had the sticker over there to prove it, as well as a beanie. Yeah, so I played Control, and probably if you've seen it on Twitter from people who have played, it's true. It's extremely framey. It didn't run all that great, which is a shame. And there wasn't really any story. They kind of just hopped you in and said, here, go play. Go beat up these enemies for 15 minutes and try to explore the area. And that's what I did. And everything felt great. I got to switch out the guns into its different modes.
Okay.
Like there's like a shatter mode, which is more like a shotgun. This really cool concentrated laser, like an Uzi type thing, and then just a regular old pistol. As well as there's like a Superman punch. Like if you can float in the air and you press R3, you slam down and make
Oh,
massive
dude, I'm just gonna
waves and stuff.
superhero punch everything.
Yeah, I did that a bunch. But I loved how it felt.
Okay.
Framiness
That's what she
aside,
said.
There you go. It's a great
along with
looking
that.
game. It's a great aesthetic. It's a great setting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of a little not weirded out, but a little upset that they didn't have any story elements in there to kind of like set the vibe a little
Right.
bit. And part of the demo strictly was like they had the yellow tape up where it said if you go there, you will crash the demo and you will lose your playtime. So I didn't get to go there.
You're not selling me on this game, Kyle. You're doing a real piss poor
Well,
job.
listen, sir.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Okay.
The enemy variety is cool. Like they have these weird like little wheelchair guys floating in the air, like shooting projectiles at you,
Okay.
which is the guy said when he handed me the controller, said R1 is your best friend, and R1 is you can just grab objects that are on the ground, like a couch or part of the concrete wall, and just telekinetically hold it and chuck it at your enemies.
All right,
which is
that's
a cool
stuff. I'm back in. Yeah.
and then if you hit L1, it creates like a shield of debris around you that you can then throw at your enemies once you're done with it. So the powers are cool. The guns are cool. Yeah, I just wish there was a little bit of story in the demo, but I'm very, very excited to play the full game.
Okay, I'm pumped. And with that, our last game, Steve, would you like to talk about it?
Sydney Hunter and the Curse of the Mayan. Boy, this was not on our list to go see at PAX. It was, we didn't have an appointment, but I kept walking past it and I was like, that looks really good. That looks really cool. This is a NES inspired adventure game platformer. It's got a little bit of Metroidvania in there. It's got a little bit of it's exploration out the ass. Essentially, the Mayan calendar explodes, separates into 5 pieces.
This is right. I
have
want
to
that.
go.
I want that on the cover. Of this game. Nintendo Dual Streets Exploration app. Yes.
So the Mayan calendar splits up. The sun god is like ruining shit, and it's the 5 days of bad luck. And essentially, here's the little cover here. If you could see it, I know a listener you don't hear it, but this they gave us. And check it out. It doesn't work, but they made
Oh,
a
that's
classic
so cool.
NES cart of it. Look at
Yo,
that.
that's dope.
Now I'm upset I didn't go there.
Really, really cool.
That's
Well,
so dope.
they had the boxes for sale, like just the empty box, and he was like, "I could do something better for you guys." So he actually gave us the cartridge. But
That's awesome.
the game is really, really fun. Like, it took me back to my living room, sitting cross-legged, playing a game that I randomly rented on at Blockbuster or Tin Man Video, which is my local video store. Really, really set me back to that. And guess what? It's coming to PS4. It's PS4, Switch,
my
Xbox, the whole 9 yards. Coming to everything.
There you go.
That's
So
exciting.
if you like retro gaming, if you like that, you want a new retro game, look out for this thing because it played really, really well. And it sounds beautiful. The music is beautiful.
like it.
I beat the first mini boss. I think I beat the first boss too. Oh, that's the other thing. All the boss battles are like Mega Man boss battles. So it closes the door behind you, and you have to fight a super powered boss. Like the first one you fight is like this cheetah god, and he's like bouncing off the walls. He spits fire, and like you're like jumping over him and hitting him with your weapon and stuff. Really, really cool.
Okay.
You got to find these like little crystals that are hidden in walls and like puzzles that can get you more crystals, and then you use those crystals to open up more doors to explore other levels. So
I like it.
keep your eyes out for it because it's going to be
Sounds dope.
real good.
So Kyle, this comes down to the wire because my game of the show is Ghost in the Well. Creature in the Well.
Preach in the well.
Creature in the Well. Creature in the goddamn well, Joe. Get it together. I think Andy's possessing me from Britain, and he's just like, I've had enough. And he's just like, So mine's is Creature in the Well. What is your top pick?
My top pick is Bloodroots.
So is the Trophy Room game of show Bloodroots by default?
I mean,
Because here's the thing. I can go either way.
yeah.
I'm just
I
like that
also-
chick in college you met. I'm real cool like that.
We
Or
can
dude,
also
whatever.
go where like we both had Days Gone on our list.
All three of us did.
Yeah.
All three of us did have Days Gone. Days Gone was really good. All right, Ben Studios, congratulations. That's how I decided it. I'm the decider, guys. I'm the decider. With that said, with all that out of the way.
Oh, before we move on from PAX, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Robby Bobby Miller because we met Robby Bobby at PAX, and he so graciously gave us passes for Saturday. So thank you, Robby. It was amazing to meet you, and thank you so much.
That was so awesome. And you know what? I'll edit something out so that I thank him literally at the start of the show.
Okay.
Because seriously, Robby Bobby Miller, if I was so caffeinated, holy crap, man, thank you so much. You're amazing. It's seriously because of you that we came to PAX this year. Thank you so freaking much. And your friend John, I believe.
I believe that's right, yeah.
Which he looked like Shawn Michaels a little bit. I wanted to tell it to him, but I thought he would be like, that's because I am. And then he put me in a sharpshooter.
doing the dance.
Exactly. He put me in like fucking sharpshooter and shit. Like, I didn't want that. I don't want any of that business. But yeah, no, thank you so much, Robby Bobby Miller. You're just fucking awesome, dude. With all that said, and with all that out of the way, Steve, where can people find you? I'm sorry, we kept you on super late. That's all my apologies.
Man, listen, I had a blast. I'm just going to edit some videos tonight. It's all good. You could find me. I'm on Twitter at Batchild27. You could follow Nintendo Dual Screens Podcast at NDS Podcast on all your social medias. If you want to join a fun Nintendo Facebook group, you could do facebook.com/groups/NDS Podcast and visit dualscreens.com, which is where everything lives. You could find all our socials there. And I also stream 3 nights a week on twitch.tv/dual screens streams. And when I say duel, it's duel like fighting with an E.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, you got anything to plug?
Like always, Joe, I like to plug myself. At Whodat Ninja on Twitter and at PSN, so send me those friend requests. My show, all about the kind of funny community. Best Friends Talk Funny. You can find that on Twitter, BFS Talk Funny. I've had Steve and Joe on, so go ahead and give those episodes a listen. I love these guys very, very much. And also, I guess, if I didn't have enough things to do, myself, Kelsey, and Mike, who helped do Kinda NYC, we're doing a New York City area best friend podcast called Dollar Slice Podcast, where we'll get together and just talk about all the nerdy things. And I hope to have these guys on as a guest in the future.
I would love that.
And you can follow that on Twitter at Dollar Slice Pod. Awesome.
And like always, you could get this podcast on YouTube.com, not /BadBitGames. Just look it up. Search Bad Bit Games on YouTube. You'll get there. Don't worry about it. We just did an unboxing for this bad boy right here, the Astro C40TR. How did I remember that name and not Creature in the Wild? Jesus Christ, Joe, you're losing it. And we're also going to be doing a review on that as well. You can find this podcast as well on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever there's an RSS feed. You can find the show there. I listen on Overcast because it's the best goddamn app out there. Seriously, Smart Speed is a game changer. Rybo knows what I'm talking about. So with that, with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. Oh, wait. Oh, you're doing I like that.